Hello, in this video I will talk about the ex parte paper uh, and also this is my homework. I gotta call the cops or the sheriff to find out, not emergency, to find out about, well, I'll just read it to you. Officer, the ex parte paper was a lie. It was filled out on February 13th, 2013. Now, my wife wants to say the truth and clear her conscience, but I don't want her to go to jail. So, when can she make a statement and not be arrested? When is the expiration date for her crime, which was to bear false witness against me and get me thrown in jail or hospital jail, the Baker Act place? That's my question to you, officer. How much time has to go by? It went in. She went to court on the 13th probably, and then I got taken in 13th of February. So how much time do I have to wait? Like a year? And then she could go and fill out that thing, because I would like to clear up my name, you know. Alright. Of course, to my YouTube public, whether you like me or dislike me, you probably like me if you watch my videos. You wouldn't waste your time. And I like you very much, because it means that if you're watching these things, either you have problems or you've been trying to avoid the problems you have, or trying to find solutions for the problems you have. And I'm giving you a complete a story of what has happened in my life, so that, you know, whether I end up in jail or in the hospital, in the crazy hospital, or wherever I end up, or I get to fulfill my dreams and get out of the United States, then these videos somehow will help you achieve your dreams also, and avoid the traps. The best advice I have for you is to live alone. The second advice I have is to have video cameras for whenever women come over or anybody comes over. The third one was to live in a tiny house with just cook outside, and this way, the wife told me that these gas stoves explode, like the room somehow explodes. You light a candle later on and there was gas in the air and things like that. And in Honduras, I do remember some buildings going down because everything was made out of wood, all the houses. So like a whole block would go down, you know. Well, to add to the story, my dad was a slumlord, and that means that he was the landlord, and he owned this wood building, which did burn down. And my father used to tell lies also, so like people believed he was actually from Nicaragua and that he was a doctor, but he was actually not from Nicaragua and not a doctor. But he was so well dressed that people, well, I'm obviously not like him as far as being that well dressed part. Let's see. So he was in the newspapers that he had burned the building himself, but then he wrote letters to my mother and said, I didn't do it, I'm not that stupid. I mean, even if half the tenants don't pay him, you know, the building's paid for. It's not like he has a mortgage on it or anything. So if only half pay him, he's happy with that. You know, he's not gonna burn it down. And he did tell me advice when I went up to see him one time. I've only seen him 5 times. Probably 5 hours in my life I've seen my dad. So I went to see him, and we went up the stairs, and he caught a splinter, because I mean that thing was just rough. Now I didn't even touch the handrail because I saw that it was all rough. And he caught a splinter, a big size one, maybe 3 inches, and he pulled it out. and he was bleeding, and like nothing, he just kept on walking. He had his handkerchief, and he did his best to act like a doctor, to tell you that. So he was leading me up the stairs, and I saw the look of a woman coming down the stairs. And over there, even if she's a young woman and she's only 25, but my goodness, they have this like zero spirit. And I understand it. It's a spirit of weakness because you don't have food and you have kids at home, and so she wasn't a prostitute or anything. She may have been, I don't know. She just walked down, didn't make eye contact with me or my dad. And I just saw this spirit where, my goodness, if I could have, I would have offered her some food, you know, going back in time in my brain. Now, back then, I didn't have food myself, you know. My mother sent me to stay with some relatives in Honduras, and I could eat 3 times the amount of food that they gave me because I was hungry. I was slim, but I was hungry. And over there, they even eat out of smaller plates, guys. They really do. They eat out of just a little bit bigger than a saucer. And they don't have seconds. So if I go back to Honduras, I'd like to change that. Alright. So, that's the homework. Now, of course, I got to get the wife to write this out to clear her conscience. That's why I want her to read the Bible. But she won't read it. She has no time. She put my son in some Bible school, and for, I think it's been three classes he's been to, and she hasn't done the homework once with him. She hasn't read the papers that they give. He makes paper boats out of it, and pretty soon we're going to start floating those things. But I would like the spouse to read it so that she learns something. But what do you do when you have a hard-headed woman, ignorant, that doesn't want to learn? And then, of course, other people have pointed out that, Daniel, have you read the part about the Bible that if you know everything about the Bible and you don't work to support your own family, then you are worse than an unbeliever? But I'm not. I mean, some people would say that. But I think that work is a very strange word. Alright, so I don't like cutting the grass. I don't like driving. I don't like being robbed. And, you know, if you're driving and you get a speeding ticket because you're going 5 miles over, 10 miles over, I mean, with Jack Fresco around, Jack Fresco was is a guy that says there's no reason for speeding. You could make every single car in the world obey the speed limits with a computer. But the manufacturers of cars, Toyota and the others, Ford, they don't put these things in the cars so that the police can give you tickets. So, like, tickets could be totally avoided. You can make cars that absolutely do not speed. You know, you could put something like a 55 mile per hour zone, and the cars do not go faster. If it's 35 miles per hour, then the cars cannot go faster than 35 miles per hour. It's something like cruise control, but it will be activated by the neighborhoods you drive through. If you miss a stop sign, there could be a little sensor there, and there could be a sensor there to make sure your car does stop. You know, like my ex-wife, she got some tickets in the mail for the same stop sign, and she was very, very upset, and rightfully so, because she said, I did stop. But apparently it's not a 3-second stop. I would make it a 10-second if I have to, you know, just to avoid the tickets. the society is not doing its best. Everybody's trying to rob somebody. Even if it's a legal robbery, like mortgages that last 30 years and then what? That's wrong. Just make a law that it's legal for you to make houses that are the size of a doghouse. And I mean, if that's all people can afford, that's all. You know? I would even divide the city. The men live on the right, the women live on the left. And the women can come visit, the men can go visit. But it would be better if we didn't live together, unless you live like that old couple over there and some other old couples, the other one over there. One of them told me, my ex-wife, all she wanted to do was fight. All right, enjoy your life. Be better than I am. Thank you.